Welcome to the super fun game review podcast. Go Mega Ultra Between Review Show. Down. All right, guys. Welcome to MUBRS. This week we are going to be discussing our favorite pieces of DLC.
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 What kind of DLC do you like?
Downloadable content, expansions, whatever floats your boat. I just want you to kind of think about like one expansion that like meant a lot to you or you played a fuck ton of, and just kind of like go over, like the tying in game and shit like that.
I might have mentioned it before, but I think I've got mine.
All right, go for it.
Oh, I didn't have to go first.
Well, you just
volunteered, so go ahead.
All right. I mean, for me, it's kind of a tie, but for the sake of this question, I'm going to say that Undead Nightmare is my favorite piece of DLC.
It's a really solid piece of DLC.
Never got to play that one.
Really? Okay, so imagine if anyone who's played Red Dead Redemption, you basically get the whole map again if you buy it separately. Like I had the add-on, so I didn't see it as a separate entity, but you could buy a physical copy of just Undead Nightmare by itself. And so what you're taking is the standard base game, except now all the towns are like little communities of people trying to survive the zombie apocalypse in the Wild West, and all of the NPCs that you fight now have to get headshots. It makes sense. It's a zombie. Yeah. It's a zombie expansion. And that was fun and that was enjoyable. And after completing Red Dead Redemption and loving it, having all the weapons and having everything, it was interesting to sort of take it back. You start with just a couple weapons, and you start with limited ammo. And you really have to manage your resources, and you didn't have to do that before because there's just ammo and money and stuff everywhere in the main game. And there's a story, like you basically have to go to Mexico, and someone like, didn't they like pull an Aztec relic or something like that, and it caused the zombie apocalypse?
they dug up an Aztec relic in Mexico,
something like that. But having said that, there are two things that make this DLC even better for me personally, and one is the Bigfoot. The Bigfoot mission, where you literally hunt Bigfoot.
What?
Yeah.
And when you complete it, you get a little trophy. It says, I think it says 8 or 6 years in the making, I think, because everyone was looking for Bigfoot in San Andreas, but he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So as like an Easter egg, they put Bigfoot in Undead Nightmare. He's actually there, and you hunt them almost to extinction. I think there's one left, and it talks to you, basically.
What?
You didn't know this? No, okay.
No.
The other little nugget is that in Red Dead Redemption, obviously you can tame wild horses, and you can.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to bring this up.
Oh, dude, and you can hunt certain animals in the game. Now, I don't want to say my views on hunting have changed since I played Red Dead Redemption, but in Undead Nightmare, you can tame the 4 horses of the apocalypse. And you can hunt the Jabberwocky, the Chupacabra, and Bigfoot, obviously. So basically, all these cryptids, these mythical creatures that don't exist.
Also, I believe a unicorn as well.
I was going to get to that.
Okay.
Once you've done all of that, you have to tame all 4 horses, I think. You have to hunt the cryptids. You have to wait around a certain section of the map in Mexico for the unicorn to appear, and then you have to tame it. And doing that was one of like... not that, I kind of liked hunting Bigfoot more, but like getting the unicorn and doing all the little extra stuff in the DLC add-on to Red Dead Redemption, it was just like the crowning achievement of the Red Dead Redemption experience was playing Undead Nightmare, beating it, and taming a unicorn.
So,
wow.
So one thing I just want to interject here, and then we'll move on to somebody else, unless anyone had any questions about it. You know how 2 of the horses were stationary and 2 of them roamed the entire map? In a pattern, I spawned into Undead Nightmare. I left the building that you start in that one town. Like you start like right at the homestead, I think.
Yeah, you start at Homestead and you go to the most northern town not long after.
I made it past the fence of his property, and War was walking right there. Tamed War. I had War from the get-go in that, and just running past things, lighting them on fucking fire. Like, it was so awesome. All the horses have powers. So like, with War, you just run past and it lights shit on fire. That's the other way that you can kill the zombies, is you light them on fire.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mention that. Also, you can get zombie horses. Like horse, you can ride a horse that is like withering away like a normal zombie, and it doesn't try to attack you or anything.
And that's not famine. Famine actually like diseases everything around you. It's really cool.
That is my other one is from the Fallout universe, but
I need
save that.
to get that game.
It's awesome, dude.
I need to get that game. Fuck. I always heard great things. I never heard the actual details over it, but holy shit.
Yeah, if you have like a working 360 or a PS3, you can find that disc-based, and it's awesome.
Sweet.
and cheap.
PS3,
And
here I
super
come.
cheap, yeah.
It's actually funny, on the very tail end, like, favorite DLC pack was the add-ons for Fallout 3.
Okay.
So you had the Brotherhood of Steel, to where it takes place in Pittsburgh. Then you have Operation
Pit.
Anchorage, which is obviously Alaska.
And set in the past, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That was like with the war as it was going on, and Spaceship Zeta. So I do
Mothership Zeta. I think.
Mothership
Yep.
Zeta. Yeah, that's it. I just remember spaceship because you're on a damn spaceship, which I did enjoy that because there was. You're basically hunting little aliens compared to its mutants and everything else from Fallout 3. You go over in the corner of the map, you hear the really weird radio signal. You find the ship crash landed, and then you're teleported onto this giant ship, and you get to shoot ray guns at little tiny angry aliens.
And bringing those back to the Fallout universe.
Yeah, to the actual
it breaks the damn game.
Oh, it does.
There's only one thing that's like more powerful than that is like the gauze rifle from Operation Anchorage.
Oh, right.
That sniper rifle is ridiculous. But yeah, the ray guns are nuts. I loved them.
I definitely that has to be the one, because it's not so much where you spent so much time, because I pretty much did everything I could in Fallout 3 and then started moving on to the expansions, and you can get so lost in those just by themselves. They could almost be their own little standalone games as well, and then you still get to come back in to explore the wasteland on top of it, and then kind of go back and forth. That's probably my top DLC.
I liked Broken Steel as well because it ups the level cap from 20 to 30.
Yeah, that is true. So that way.
And what was the other one? There's the one that's like the Bayou. I never played it.
That one I played. I forget what that's
It's like
called.
Point
'Cause
Lookout or something.
That sounds right. You get on like a, not a steamboat, but you get on like a
Airboat.
Yeah, and all I can really remember is you go to like a carnival, or it's like a decrepit carnival basically, and there's a segment where you have to defend a mansion, and then it goes off from there. I did play that one for a little bit. I've beaten it, but I played that one as well.
Mm-hmm. So, not to mention, just you could get the all four of them as like one big bundle pack. But I ended up, when I was playing through, I had gotten the Game of the Year edition, which came with everything.
Yeah,
so that was
so
like,
good.
That was where it's like, all right, one-stop shop, don't have to worry about it, which was even cooler. So that's what I enjoyed.
I personally had the most fun and played the shit out of the Taken King for Destiny. Destiny, the Taken King, like, it's what kind of brought everybody in, like, the friend group into Destiny originally. Like, everyone kind of just bought this pack and started playing it. And as soon as everyone started hitting, like, the actual, like, content that was the Taken King, which was, like, the best experience from Destiny 1, I played so much of that fucking game. And I think it was just a really complete package for, it was what, $20-$30? I mean, I ended up buying the like the special edition that had all 3 of the DLCs and the game for $60. So I mean, that was my value for it. But man, I just endlessly, and like that raid was like so good. It required lots of timing and like pinpoint accuracy, but it wasn't frustrating, and you know why you fucking failed. It's like somebody fucked up, and it was like very specific ways to like get through raids and things like that. It was really well crafted and very thought out, and a lot of the, like, they had this ongoing like collective puzzle that, like, as it aged, it more pieces of it unlocked, and then it unlocked certain weapons and stuff. I always just thought it was really, really cool and well done. Harry, you played a lot of that too. Like,
that's when I got into that game.
That's literally what I said. I was like,
Yeah.
That's what got everyone in our friend group into Destiny again.
Yeah.
I think only Kyle and I had played it beforehand.
Okay.
And maybe Hamill, but we all stopped. And then when like the Taken King came out, we all picked it up, and then we're like, "Cool, all this fucking content!" Like, but Taken King was incredible to me.
Were there expansions on 11?
It's exactly where I was going with. I know we talked about it before, so I'm not going to harp on that point of the story, but Final Fantasy XI, I sunk a shit ton of time into, and a lot of it was in the expansions. I think the base game is extremely boring.
Yep.
When it comes to 11, but the expansions are amazing. And my biggest goal for the longest time was to get to a really high level so I can take part in the Besieged event.
And that, what was the name of that?
Ot
expansion?
Urgen. Treasures of Ot Urgen. Ot Urgan, or however you want to pronounce it. But it was basically a high-level town that was constantly under attack by enemies. And it was to the point where it would take, I guess, 3 full parties of 6 to take down one creature. And
Jeez.
there was a couple hundred creatures just smashing the gate all at once. And I mean, at the time, my computer had a hard time running it. Like, it wouldn't load everything on the screen, and all of a sudden you're getting hit by some invisible creature. But I remember just the sheer panic of everybody running around and just these giant Goliaths crashing through the walls, and like paladins throwing up their shields and everybody rushing into attack, and just like a wall of mages casting spells, and all this just happening simultaneously. It just was the first time, I think, in gaming that I ever took a part of something that was such on such a big scale that it just felt like an epic moment that you were a part of.
Part of that community.
Exactly. And it took, you would have had to experience the game of 11, but the amount of time it took to be able to take part in an event like that was insane.
Oh, it's nuts.
The leveling in that game is excruciating. And no game really does it like that anymore, just like the painful grind, but it felt well-deserved when you can finally take part in something like that.
Could definitely see where that comes from, being
Yeah,
on that beach with all those goddamn crabs, just trying to make your way up through 20s into 30s, and then there were a lot of crabs on the beach. And
Giant
then giant
enemy crab.
Yeah.
I mean, the game looks extremely dated now, but I highly recommend just check out some videos online just to see what like the whole Besieged event was all about. Because it would only tick up when there was a death in the field. Like, there was a lot of people trying to level in that surrounding area, but it would the meter for when the place would be attacked would only tick up if somebody died out in the field. No, it was crazy time. I'm glad I experienced it. It wasn't much time after that is when I think fell out of 11, because you kind of hit that end game. It's just, what do I do now?
Mm-hmm.
Except for leveling more characters.
I got stale real quick.
Yeah.
After 600 hours.
Yeah.
Something
I
like
think
that.
I did more than
Months of gameplay.
Yeah, 3.5 months login time.
It's gross.
Yeah, it was a time sink for everyone.
So many nights waking up and just realizing that you've been running into a wall for the past hour because you're passed out in front of your computer.
Oh my god, that was like the thing.
Put it on auto run and wake up, and there's my fucking red mage just running right into a wall. I'm like, fuck, how long have I been out? How am I not dead?
How am I still in a party?
Yeah, exactly. That's
And
even
you just
worse.
see like all the whispers coming to you, like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
And then you could put like auto run on another character, so if they're running, you just automatically follow over. You don't have to.
Dude, that's what I would do when I was like half asleep. I would be like, all right, I'm just gonna follow this person, auto run, and I can't tell you how many times I like woke up as somebody was leaving a party, and I still had them on auto run, and I was just like following them, running away.
The traveling in that game is absurd.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Like, it used to take you like 10 to 15 minutes to run through certain zones. Just like,
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
No mounts.
They
Eventually,
Yeah,
no, there
but
was,
still.
but if the second you got attacked too, you fell off it instantly.
no,
And
you
it
couldn't
took-
you couldn't get attacked on a mount.
Talking about WoW?
No. No one played WoW.
Nah,
I played a little
Kyle
bit of
played
WoW.
WoW.
yeah,
Yeah,
Kyle played WoW.
WoW
Kyle
too
played
much.
WoW.
with his shirt off in the living room.
What? Stop
Yeah.
it.
All right, that's a story for another time. Let's wrap it up
No, I'm
here.
getting a boner.
All right, Kyle, there you go.
There you go, Kyle. Kyle played a lot of naked WoW.